Hey, what's going on? Ed Fletcher here, and wanted to jump on and kind of reflect on Hamilton. I finally saw it. If you've been living under a rock, Hamilton was this huge stage play that won all the awards and is this modern retelling of our founding fathers' story, mostly framed on Alexander Hamilton and his life with, or his conflict with Aaron Burr. But I thought it was just perfect for this time because it not only is this modern retelling of our founding fathers, but told by a diverse cast and giving a much more nuanced view and mixed view of the founding fathers. And that in many cases, these aren't just good men or bad men, but these are men that did good things and bad things, or bad men that did great things. And it makes for a much more complex and rich story. And obviously it's relevant now because we're having these conversations about our founding fathers and to a broader extent these Confederate figures and figures of our past that are being torn down or cast in a new light because of how we're choosing to look at history now and to not whitewash the negative parts of our historic figures. Just yesterday, the Father Sarah statue in Capitol Park was torn down, not on purpose, not in organized fashion, but by protesters. And obviously that's something that makes people on the other side upset about. But history has... Good morning, Christina. History is torn with, or littered with, reimagining, rewriting who we exhale and who gets to be on the street corner. Think about all of the memorials and statues and remembrances that white people tore down as they ripped this land from the Native Americans. So it's not as cut and dry, but I agree with the people that say we shouldn't entirely forget our history. No, we shouldn't forget our history. We should learn our history, but we shouldn't just exhale these people without question. In some cases, I wish there was a cleaner path to re-engaging this conversation. But for the longest time, this has been a conversation that the majority has refused to have, especially in the South. If protesters asked years ago about taking the John Sutter statue down and were rebuffed, but things have changed. They've asked about the Father Sarah statue for years and have argued that about taking it down. And it's an argument that the majority hasn't wanted to hear. And now it's coming down by force. And hopefully they get back up somewhere that's appropriate and somewhere that gives more context than what was there before. But the reverse is also happening as well. I understand a Frederick Douglass statue was torn down. I don't know that there are official suspects, but I would suspect that was people not loyal to the Confederacy, but in response to this, perhaps you could say loyal to the Confederacy. But a weird thing is happening at the same time. You see more and more of the quote-unquote mainstream interests are now on the same side of the culture war as Black Lives Matter, and you see President Trump increasingly isolated on this. You can add the NFL and NASCAR to the ranks, and Disney to the ranks of the companies that have spoke in favor of social justice and have abandoned this position that we need to defend our statues and our racist legacy at all cost. Big news in the NFL that the NFL team that plays in Washington, D.C. may be renaming itself after years of the owner saying that he would never rename the team. They're at least saying now that they are reviewing the name of the team in Washington, D.C., and many call it a racial slur. But for whatever reasons, there used to be surveys in which some Native Americans said they were okay with the name. In any case, that too is changing as America re-examines its past. And if you haven't seen Hamilton yet, please check it out. It's on Disney Plus. It's the basically a video of a stage production, so it will be the best seat you'd ever get for the play, and it's pretty magnificent. It's a great use of music and language to retell a story that we've all kind of heard, but to learn it in more detail and to see a much more nuanced view is I thought was pretty magical. So that's all I got to say for this morning. Thanks for checking this out. Thanks hey, Candace Joseph is watching. What's going on? Thanks for continuing to re-examine our world and challenge our biases, because things are changing, and the way that we've viewed things for too long has been wrong, and this is a great time for Americans to better understand how other people have lived and to right some of the wrongs of systemic racism, and for white allies and to come to grips with the role that they've historically played in this, and to accept that it's not their fault and to become part of the solution. We've all got a role to play, and let's play ours, and let's open our hearts and our minds and keep moving. Ever forward, new shirt today, thanks to Fred Lamora. If not now, then when? Thanks a lot. Ed Fletcher, signing out.